Problem 711 on page 253 is pretty straightforward. It says this. Last year, Clark Company issued a 10-year, 12% semi-annual coupon bond at its par value of $1,000. Currently, the bond can be called in 4 years at a price of $1,060, and it sells for $1,100. Letter A is the only one to worry about. It says, what are the bond's nominal yield to maturity and nominal yield to call? Would an investor be more likely to earn yield to maturity or yield to call? Let's get a couple of facts down about this bond. When they were issued, it was a 10-year bond. We have a 12%, that's semi-annual coupon. So again, when you see this semi-annual, you need to know that adjustments are going to have to be made somewhere in the problem to account for these semi-annual 2 times a year interest payments. Par value is $1,000. It says currently the bond can be called in 4 years. So the way that would look is if we're sitting here today and we had a bond that extends all the way out there. Notice it says last year. So that means 1 year of time has gone by to get to today. So I'm going to go back in time again, just like problem 7-8, and say -1. That's 1 year ago from today. It also says there are 4 years of call protection remaining. So from here to 1, 2, 3, 4 years. This whole period of time is remaining call protection. So in other words, the issuing corporation or government cannot call the bonds for the next 4 years. Since the bonds were initially 10-year bonds and 1 year has already elapsed on these 10-year bonds, that means my maturity date out here is 9 years from today. With that in mind, the first thing that we need to calculate is yield to maturity. So we'll set up NI, PV, PMT, and FV. Let's work on N first. We know that there are 9 years to maturity, but remember we have a semi-annual coupon payment. So 9 years is going to be 18 interest payments. 2 interest payments a year because it's semi-annual for 9 years. Therefore, N is 18. The present value is what the bond is selling for on the market. That's $1,100 according to the problem. The payment, remember, it needs to be expressed in terms of this semi-annual coupon. So ordinarily what we do is take par value, multiply by the coupon rate. That gets us 120. But since it's semi-annual, we need to divide that by 2. And each payment is going to be $60. And if we hold on to the bond all the way out here until the maturity date, we will get $1,000. Remember, the call premium only kicks in if the bond is called. In this case, when we're calculating yield to maturity, the call premium will not kick in. We'll just get our normal $1,000 back. So now that that's set up, plug into the calculator, you'll get 5.14%. And be careful here, the problem does ask for a nominal. And remember, since this is in terms of semi-annual interest payments and the payment is in terms of semi-annual interest payments, the resulting interest rate is going to be a semi-annual interest rate. We need a nominal rate, which is going to be 10.28%. That's the answer. That is your nominal yield to maturity. The second part, ask what is the yield to call? N, I, PV, PMT, FV. We have 4 years of call protection 4 years on a semi-annual coupon means that there are 8 coupon payments remaining. I is what we're looking for. The present value is still $1,100. The payment is still $60. The future value is different. Remember, when you're calculating yield to call versus yield to maturity, there's going to be a call premium, and the call premium given in this problem is $1,060. So those are your calculator inputs. Once you plug that into the calculator, you'll get 5.07%. And just like with yield to maturity, since N is in semi-annual terms and the payment is in semi-annual terms, the resulting interest rate is going to be in semi-annual terms. So make sure you multiply that by 2 and you get 10.14%, and that is the yield to call. Now, which one of these are we going to actually get? Remember from problem, I think it was 7-5, we answered a very similar question, and I told you when you come across a question like this, you only need to look at one place, and that is look at the price of the bond. The price of the bond tells us what interest rates are doing. Since this bond is selling at a premium, I know that the coupon rate on my bond is greater than market rates. Well, what does call protection do? Protection protects the issuer from a drop in interest rate. So I can look at my coupon rate, see that it's greater than market rates, and I can tell that market rates have indeed dropped. Therefore, as an investor, which one of these two returns should I expect? I should expect the yield to call.